Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another quick look here at Rose. And typically before we do, we look at Bitcoin, but I can tell you it's kind of just trending closer to about 50,000 right now, working its way up slowly over the weekend. Now that's just been the last 24 hours, so ultimately we don't truly know exactly what's going to happen until we see, kind of an open tomorrow from the traditional stock market, and of course the news on Tuesday. So I just recommend exercising caution when investing in Bitcoin right now. We're going to resume signals as a community, hopefully as soon as the price breaks above 52,000 and holds above for at least 24 hours, right? That's kind of the general idea of what we're waiting for. Now with Rose, before we jump in, just so you know too, also not a financial advisor. I just love teaching people how to trade, right? So hopefully you can learn a thing or two here today, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that, of course. And just know I have a trading community as well if you're interested in perhaps joining. Really awesome experience where we can all learn and grow together. And ultimately, I send out signals for every single trade that I take. Once again, we'll resume that here soon. We just need more stability from Bitcoin. That's the bottom line. All right, looking here at Rose. I got some previous information here pulled up. We'll go ahead and reset that. But just to quickly note, we do have these previous, basically it was one-day high close and the previous all-time high. Those will work as support and resistance zones still. So we're going to go ahead and extend that out because, the previous or initial all-time high is a very big, I guess you could say price point as well as the previous one-day candlestick close high. Okay. So just note that. And as you can see here today, the price is kind of leveling out right around that previous resistance. And of course, we had a test a few days ago that couldn't break that resistance plane of about 36 cents. So just something to know. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick look here at Fibonacci retracement. Go ahead and scroll that out here as well. And then what we'll do also is we're going to look at some of the more traditional key indicators here so we understand what's going on. Because big picture here, you can see Rose is making a comeback. It's trying to recover, obviously, from the Bitcoin sell-off there. 27% in just under 16 hours. That's a big dip, right? Most coins are suffering in that sense, and they're trying to recover. And we can see Rose is finally stabilizing, trying to increase. That does look very similar pattern to Bitcoin, of course, but it's more exaggerated in that sense. Whereas Bitcoin it might be up a small percent, whereas Rose is about almost 25% in 2 trading days. So that's quite a lot of movement, right? We got to understand that. So taking a look here, of course, at the RSI. RSI is up over 50 now. It's peaking up over 50, of course, but you can see it's kind of a tentative resistance right here at the previous all-time high close. So 28 cents and a half, so 28.5 essentially, is a potential resistance level we need to be able to kind of respect. And what I mean by that is just that, if the one-day candlestick can't close above that, it's going to be considered resistance. If we can close above that, of course, inverse applies, it would be maybe considered more so a support, and we could see the price continue upwards, right? Also, just bear in mind, too, this has a similar pattern to Bitcoin. Again, even though it's more exaggerated and it's a lot more aggressive in the recent past than Bitcoin, you got to understand, too, that there's a chance that it could sell off also as aggressively, depending on how Bitcoin behaves in the next 48 to 72 hours. Yeah, please understand that. Well, looking at the MACD here, you can kind of see we got a potential convergence on the way, which is a good sign. Ultimately, the one-day chart MACD convergence isn't super important, but it does kind of give you an idea, or there's a sense that the overall market conditions are moving in the right direction, and that we have more of a macro move instead of a more so just micro, if you will. So the last 2 trading days are really influencing that switch and that change in momentum. All right, looking here at the 200-day simple moving average, that's currently the support level. So that could actually help keep the price action higher, right around 28.5 cents. So we could actually see the price progress past that resistance level. That's a good sign. We've also got the 50-day simple moving average working right behind it as well. Looking at the RSI on the 4-hour chart, we're right at about 60, 65, some in that range. That's a good number. We want to see that. Anything over 50 and under 70 is ideal for the 4-hour chart. And I prefer the 4-hour RSI because that gives us the best reflection of, kind of how the true relative strength is actually telling us. And this basically just letting us know that we're above 50, under 70 in that sweet spot, so to speak. And this is a great place to stay. So ideally, we get a little bit of consolidation with the increase and consolidate, and we get this nice staircase pattern. And what if we can continue that? We'll just keep breaking these little resistance levels and keep working our way up. That's perfect. We like to see that. But not much else to really note on the 4-hour chart there. Looking at the 1 hour, we can go ahead and take a look at the cloud. I'm sure we're above, and this is something to note here as well. We are definitely above the cloud. We got the lagging span, clear the price action. and we also have the conversion line above the baseline. So those are 3 out of 3 check marks for the cloud. They're basically telling us that we want to leave our position open. However, that comes with a disclaimer because of the fact that as soon as the lagging span intersects with the price action, that's considered a sell signal. And of course, anytime this comes down to intersect with the lower lead, the baseline essentially, we need to understand as well that that's considered to be a close signal. So just note that with the price retracing right now here in the last hour, there's a good chance we might actually see a sign from the Ichimoku cloud telling us to close, cut our losses or essentially close our position because there might be a shift in momentum. But right now, it's not telling us any of that, right? It's basically just saying that, hey, we've got an open door. Keep your position open if you have one. And obviously, maybe consider trimming, but we don't have to do that just yet, okay? Because once this gets closer here, or intersects the price action anywhere over here, we are looking at closing our position. And just know, it is losing a little bit of momentum here, of course, but you got to also understand, too, if you look at the TD sequential, we just hit a 9, right? So you can see that. Hitting a 9 on TD sequential is basically just telling us that we're expecting a price consolidation or retracement. Therefore, at this point, with the price being where it's at, it'd be awesome if the price were just continue to consolidate right around 28.5 cents, and then again leg up after that and just keep moving forward. That'd be ultimately the best way to go because Rose has a great tendency of being very strong very fast, but we want to have this continuation of this healthy pattern to be able to get there. And it has a very, very good pattern forming so far. I mean, this is a very nice, healthy continuation. We like to see that. So ultimately, we get some more consolidation over the next 12 to 24 hours, and then we get a leg up again. And I can speculate, though, that Rose has great potential to get back to where it's at previously. Based on its previous price action and just the way that it's moved overall, it's definitely doing well. And the cool thing is, too, this lower Fibonacci retracement level, that's right where the average true range is. I mean, you can see a tremendous amount of volume accumulated right in this range. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at that. You can see right as soon as the price came down and bounced off of 20 cents or 20.5 cents, that was effectively the previous support channel based on the amount of volume, right? Because you got to respect how much volume goes into trading, right? If you're below a volume profile range, or just say the visible range here in this case, at VPVR, then you're going to be in a position where it's going to be considered a resistance, and it may not break that plane. It's going to be working as a kind of a reverse magnetism pushing you away. In this case, we got to bounce off that too, so it's really nice. So even though we had this major sell-off, and even a 2 days later, we could see the price kind of retracing even further for Rose. It didn't cross this plane of the most amount of volume in the past few weeks of trading. In fact, that's probably about 3 months worth of data. In the last 3 months, we've had the strongest amount of volume accumulation around 19 cents. Rounding up a little bit, right around 19 cents. That is awesome. So I love to see this. This basically tells us that should be the floor rate, the floor bottom for Rose. Can't go any lower. Do not pass go. Collect $200, that whole thing, it's right there for Rose. So we're in really good shape there in that sense. So ultimately, I would say that we shouldn't expect the price to come down any further than the 19 cents. We should probably expect, as long as this continuation is healthy and we get some sideways action, some more sideways action from Bitcoin, we'll see Rose continue to work its way up to 30, 33, 36 cents, and eventually break that resistance at about 36.5. Once again, this is all contingent on Bitcoin not dropping its bottom tomorrow or the day after. We've got a pretty big day this week here, I think, with the news on Tuesday, and here in just a little bit we'll be able to see what the how the futures had opened and kind of go from there. But for the most part, we're looking pretty good here from Rose. I like what I see here so far. So I would say I'm more so bullish on Rose, especially more so on the macro. Big picture, I think it's definitely got strong potential to get back up to its all-time high of 46 cents in the relative near future. That being said, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining me here. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Have a good one. Take care.